Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to hit section 4.3, which is adding and subtracting decimals. Now, one thing with adding and subtracting decimals, I'm going to just kind of show you over at the side. This is called the stacking method. All I'm going to do is add these up. So 5.8 plus 7.3. 8 plus 3 is an 11. I'm going to carry my 1 up here. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 7 is 13. 13.1 would be my answer. Now remember, in any part of this video, you can always stop and pause it to see if you are getting this correctly, and come back and unpause it just to make sure we're on the same track. The next one I want to do is 6.4 plus 1.3 plus 2.5. So now what I want to do is I'm going to say, okay, 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. 10.2 is my answer. Notice I'm lining up my decimals when I'm adding. Subtraction. Subtraction we treat the same way. 7.5 minus 8.5. Now, we can go over here. I could make this, flip it, subtract it, and then since I flip my signs, I have to add that negative. You do opposite. Because remember, 5 minus 5 is 0, but then think about this, 7 minus 8. So if you have seven things, you take away 8, that means somehow you're in the whole 1. That's where we get this right here. But now, if it's written this way, you just do 8.5 minus 7.5, and you get a positive 1.0. Now, what happens when you have something that you're adding or subtracting that has an extra decimal spot? Well, I'm going to do 1.2 plus, I'm going to line up the decimals. Notice this right here, but I don't have anything that goes above the 4. But you can, it's an understood 0. So think about this. Think about that. That's 20 plus 54 now. So 0 plus 4 is 4, 2 plus 5 is 7, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay? Now I want you to think about this next one. It's the exact same thing, except we're doing with subtraction now. So you do the same procedure. So you do 7.2 minus, you line them up, but now I can add a 0 right here. Now think about this for a second. Now we make this 0. You need to borrow from the 2 to make that a 1. That turns into a 10. 10 subtract 4 is 6. You need to borrow, make it 11 from here to make it a 6. 11 minus 9 is 2. And then 6 minus 1 is 5. Here's a good one. What happens when you take 6.5 from 12? So you put 6.5 minus 12 and then 0 right here. 5 minus 0 is 5. 6 minus 12. So if you owe me 12, that's a minus 12. You pay me back 6, that means you're still in the hole of 5. Because you're actually borrowing. And the reason why we're borrowing is because really you could say 12 point right here minus 6.5. 0, this is when you borrow from right here. Makes that a 10. 10 subtract 5 is 5. 11 minus 6 is 5. And since I've switched the signs, you have to put that there because that's where it becomes negative. Okay, finally, if you have a fence that is, get the dimensions 10.12 feet by 11.25 feet, what is the perimeter? Well, what I would do is draw this out. Here's your 11.25. Remember, you got two of them. And here's your 10.12. So all you have to do is say 10.12 plus 10.12. That gives me 12 plus 12 is 24. 10 plus 10 is 20. Then I've got my 11.25 plus 11.25. So I'm treating this as 25. 25 plus 25 is 50. 11 plus 11 is 22. And then I want to just move this over here and add up 20.24. So you get right here 50 plus 24 is 74. And then 22 and 20 is 42.74. Now, one thing with perimeter is if you're dealing with perimeter, whether fence or your like a wall for your garden, it's whatever your unit is. In this case, we're using feet, so perimeter is feet. Okay, thank you for listening. Tune in for my next section, which is 4.4, which is multiplying decimals. Thank you for listening.